I mean, what do you think? You think they stand a chance? Well, you're on their side, aren't you? Who are you betting on,
Magic mirror on the wall. Who is the fairest one of all?
Look at these lies.
One shall stand, one shall fall.
Even if one of them survives,
the only way to stop him is to make another movie.
Welcome to the Celluloid Mirror. My name is Sean Mannion, and I'm a host. And this is another host. Say hello, other host.
Hey, I'm another host. My name is Nicole. We're here. We're talking.
We are indeed here and talking.
We're on YouTube.
We're live on the YouTubers.
We're worldwide.
Well, who knows? Maybe they restrict us to just like the Cayman Islands or something. Wouldn't that be fun?
No, you can't say things like that to me because now I'm thinking about who our listenership is in the Cayman Islands and like the combination of the people who are working there and the people who are vacationing there and banking there. And
it's mostly just the vacationers and the bankers that are our listeners. That's our core, I think. Like the rich and I honestly can't remember anything about the Cayman Islands. I don't know why that one came to mind first, but hey. Good times for probably
I think
not
it's
the people
where
who live there.
Like rich, corrupt people vacation and launder money, and also the people who live there are exploited by global capital.
I mean, I feel like that's
everywhere.
Most places, like on some level, like most places are somewhere that rich people vacation. I mean, even here in New York City, they say they live here, but they don't actually live here enough to get like taxed for it. Anyway, we're doing this short again, and we're gonna try to keep it shorter than last time. We're learning our lesson, but tightening it up, I think. We don't have a top 25 or 20 of 5 of 2025, however many we did, 40 of 2025, the top 40. But we were going to talk a little about what we've been watching. We can probably talk, I think inevitably that will lead to talking at least somewhat about what's going on in the world because we can't not. But yeah, what have you been watching to escape the existential dread of life and like everything?
I can't escape the existential dread of life because what I've been watching to relax is old seasons of Project Runway. I think I talked about this on the last short also.
That's okay. You're consistent.
I'm consistent. Well, see, we watched season 1 and then we watched season 2 and now we're on season 3.
Well, yeah.
And I don't know why I'm doing this to myself because famously among my friends, I believe that the 2000s were like the lowest point in popular culture of my life.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have talked about this quite a bit. I believe that post 9/11 in the United States, popular culture went really quickly downhill. Really
Very
fast.
much so. Very much so. It didn't know what to do with itself for a lot of it.
And I see this on even Project Runway because I swear to God, they are doing like white straight dude affirmative action on the early seasons of Project Runway
Okay.
If you watch the later seasons, they are more diverse.
Okay.
Than like these early seasons. Like these early seasons are very white, and in terms of the male contestants, there are more straight dudes and more dudes who I don't know what their sexual orientation is, but they're definitely not like saying they are queer or things like that, which in the more recent seasons, like a lot of that's just a lot more on the surface and being talked about. You have more male contestants wearing makeup. You have more people messing with like super binary gender norms in a way that in the early seasons, people get kind of dinged for that. And so I can't escape the existential horror because I'm like, even my beloved Project Runway is shitty like this, and also doing stuff that I think is shitty sadistic reality television, like fucking with the contestants unnecessarily, and I think it's wrong.
I mean, I think we've talked about separately how much I dislike reality television because I didn't enjoy watching it back then. I did a little work behind the scenes on some, like in post, way early in being here in New York, and that just actually just reaffirmed what I suspected about it and all of the worst things about it. And I'm just like, it's garbage. It's bad for people. Like
Yeah,
I think it's genuinely actually bad for people to watch it. Like
I largely agree. Not that I'm judging anyone for watching reality TV, like I clearly am. I don't watch like there's limited stuff I can watch. Like I like Project Runway, I like Chopped, I like basically I like cooking competition and fashion competition shows.
cooking shows, you know, there's some things where I'm like, it doesn't play in the same way. And I'm not saying it's bad for people in the sense of like, I'm saying that you're doing a bad thing watching it. I think it's like genuinely like unhealthy for your brain and like processing how people interact. Yes. Well, exactly. It's like, you know, it's like eating sugar. It's bad for you, but like more of it is worse.
You know what else it's like?
Smoking.
You know, it's a lot like is watching Netflix. Because it's similar brain rot, because it's reminding you what's happening and what's important for you to be paying attention to every 2 seconds, because it's expecting that you are not paying attention. And that trend really started with reality TV in the 2000s.
Yes.
That was when they started doing the thing of like constantly recapping what you had just seen in case you looked away, because they're like, we know we're making crappy television. No one's sitting down and turning off the lights and focusing. People are in and out, and then pretty soon they were on their phones. That's by design. It's second screen viewing.
Yeah, I mean that, but I also mean the manufactured drama and the manufactured conflict. I think is bad for people. Like I think it.
I agree.
I think it causes psychological harm.
No,
I have no basis for that. I only have a minor in psych. I'm not qualified to claim that at all. That doesn't mean it's going to stop me.
Listen, also, though, we both have done professional work, whether or not we had the educational qualifications to do so, having to do specifically with trauma and working with traumatized people. I think we know some things about how trauma works, about how PTSD and complex PTSD work. And I think we can look at reality television and see that it often contains the ingredients to traumatize people.
Yeah.
Like, I feel very comfortable saying that. You can't like deprive people of sleep and pump them full of alcohol, for example. I think that is abusive and it should be illegal. That's not even Project Runway. That's just like most reality.
That's just a lot of stuff.
But yeah, I agree with you. I think it's interesting to revisit this stuff for these reasons. But it's not the total escape I wish it was, because we can't escape because we live in hell.
Yeah. And like on a similar note, as far as like things we've been rewatching, I've been rewatching. I think I was also rewatching I was when we talked last time. We are still rewatching How I Met Your Mother, which I may or may not have mentioned last time. And that show, there's a lot of stuff that does not hold up well as far as individual jokes in that show. The show, we're on the last season now. The show ran at least 3, maybe 5 seasons longer than it should have. And like, I will say, like watching it again now, Allison Hannigan does not get enough credit for how good of a supporting actress she is in everything she's been in. And she's been in very different things, I think.
I buy that.
I mean, it's mostly comedy. Like, she's a good comedy supporting actress. She's got 3 big things. She's got Buffy,
How I Met Your Mother and
How I Met Your
American
Mother
Pie.
and the American Pie movies. And she's a very, very good supporting actress in all of them. And like really kind of brings up a lot of the scenes she's in and really works well with the, like she's one of the, as the show goes on, her character, even towards the end, like really works, I think, in a way that some of the others, it's starting to fall apart a lot, because that show really did, like, it only had legs for so long. There's still a lot of stuff that's fun about it, but also that sort of thing. I think it's similar, trying to escape things, but not really. But also that it's not necessarily a bad thing for Hello Cat, for people, but like the way it's kind of keeps going, and how some things, some shows especially, just keep going or keep reiterating as the same thing over again. For example, franchises that keep going to the same well, I think is just sort of a negative, which I talked last time. I did talk about the new Star Trek show, Starfleet Academy, which I'm still enjoying. I think the writing is actually, of the third and the fourth episodes, are better than the first two episodes. Like there's a big shift. Like they're much more, I wouldn't necessarily say it's like great drama, but the structurally and sort of the flow of the episodes is much cleaner, and feels more complete. And the thing I like about that show, which is the thing that I see when I've heard other people or seen other people complaining about it, there seems to be a good chunk of people who are into the show, is a lot of people, I think, are not super comfortable with how different it is from the other shows in the franchise. And that's one of the things that I actually really, really like about it, is that while I don't like all of what it's doing all the time, I like that I'm like, okay, this isn't the same thing. This is a bit different. And I used to be, when I was young, a lot more inclined towards, this isn't the same thing. You can't do this. Like, that's not what a Star Trek is. And I'm like, no, it should be able to use that universe and do something different. It's also doing something, or trying to do something, that the franchise hasn't really done since Next Generation, which is it's trying to reestablish its story world, because it takes place so far past the other series, except for Discovery, which kind of started them off. So anyway, it's a little different. I don't think it's any less dumb right now than a lot of the other things, but that's been kind of a nice, just to pivot to that. And Wonder Man, the new Marvel show, is actually like, not like, oh, that's a good Marvel show. It's like surprisingly just a good show about Hollywood.
I saw an ad for it and I'm like, oh, that looks kind of fun. Maybe I'll watch it.
It's a lot of Ben Kingsley's character. So, and it's also co-created by the guy who directed Shang-Chi. So, it's got a lot of that to it. So
I have a saboteur in my office. I don't know if you've noticed.
I saw
this audio that I'm recording. She had some stuff to say.
I'm sure
she has some stuff to step on. Maybe this is my news. I have a weighted blanket, and when I put this weighted lap blanket on my lap when I sit at my desk, Glimmer, who some of you were just treated to seeing mostly her butt, she seemed to mostly want to be showing you her butt, but I would take that as a compliment. When cats do that, it's a sign of trust. Yeah, when I have a lap blanket on, she will go on my lap. She will not go on my lap if there's no blanket. And she'll like get upset. She'll be like hovering around my lap, kind of seeming like she wants to be there. But she's like, I'm not stepping on that. But if there's a blanket, she'll even sleep on my lap sometimes. And she's not a lap cat. We've had her since 2019. And it's only in the past like year or two that I've discovered that she will go on my lap.
Okay.
If there's a blanket. Joey, our other cat, he will walk on your face and sit down. Okay. You know, like he makes himself comfortable.
Right.
Anyway, have you been watching any movies?
Yes, I've watched a couple movies. You haven't been watching as many movies right now.
No, I will say I watched Breakfast in America like twice, I think, in the
I thought you
past
said
2
Dinner
weeks.
in America.
Dinner in America, this is my problem.
The only
This
reason
is,
I remember that is I just kind of looked at it on Tubi yesterday. So,
dude, I keep doing this. I keep saying Breakfast in America like the Supertramp album.
it's an excellent album.
But that
It's
is
an
not what I'm
excellent
talking
album with a
about.
great cover.
I'm talking about Dinner in America. It's at the end of the day of America. See, we're at Dinner in America right now. That's the point in history. Breakfast in America is like in the rear view. We weren't even alive for that. But we're maybe going to get to see dinner
like
and
coffee
dessert.
and cake of America right now.
Like after dinner?
Yeah,
That
yeah,
could
like
be.
coffee. We're like at coffee and cake overstayed our welcome in America right now.
Yeah, like they're not even going to offer us a second cup of coffee.
No, they're waiting for us to leave. That's what they're doing.
They're like, "Did you see the bill?
So,
Here's
exactly.
the bill."
Exactly.
Pushing it closer and closer is where we're at. But
so you were watching Dinner in America.
I watched it twice. I don't even want to talk about it too much because like I'll feel feelings, but
God forbid a movie should make you feel feelings. That's not what they're for.
that movie, did I say last time we did one of these? It made me cry twice the first time I saw it.
I think you
My
said,
eyes
yeah.
welled up. Like I was making noises and crying into a pillow, which is a thing I very rarely do, like at all ever, let alone because of a movie.
Right.
And it made me cry because it says things that are true about punk rock. And it made me think about how thank God I had punk rock when I was young because I don't think I'd be here now otherwise. And this movie understands some things about that. And I'm trying to get it on Blu-ray and it's like I'm not happy with my options. But I really like that movie. Maybe we'll talk about it in the future in some capacity. But
yeah,
I think it's special. I like it more the more I think about it. Some of the criticisms some people have of it, I'm kind of like, yeah, but that's part of the point of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes people are like, this scene was really gratuitous and unnecessary. This shot was like really distasteful. And I'm like, but they're introducing you to these characters, including introducing you to ways in which these characters are not necessarily normal.
Right.
One of the characters is, really clearly on the spectrum. And part of what they're doing is like being like, yes, she is not necessarily reacting to things the way you would expect a neurotypical person to. And some people are very upset by that. But Joey's here now.
Yeah.
Everyone's making an appearance. Come say hi, Joey.
That doesn't happen very often. Actually, I don't think
cats?
that's really happened. No, just since when we do the podcast, I don't think it's happened when we've done the podcast.
That the cats have showed up, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And now I'm locked out of my computer, but apparently still on Zoom, so that's
You're
good.
still on Zoom. I can still see you.
Joey stepped on my keyboard though, and
there you go. Well, I can still see and hear you.
That's great because I'm looking at my lock screen.
That's funny that it would do that. I saw that. I was skimming through too because I was looking through their indie movies, which there was a couple that I had never heard of that I was like, oh, I kind of want to watch this. And I want to, I think Jess would be interested in some of them. There's like, I guess, what's her name? Anna Lily,
Armapour.
Armapour had a movie a couple of years ago called Mona Lisa and the Blood Moon that looks like weirdly good.
Oh, I didn't hear about
Hudson.
that.
It's like takes place in New Orleans, and it's like a psychic girl escapes from a mental institution, maybe, but it's like I don't recognize the girl, but like Kate Hudson is in it and Craig Robinson is in it, and I'm like, this looks kind of cool. And then there's another one that's called, I think, Moon Kingdom, but I might have that wrong. It also has moon in it. That's like it's like stop motion and a little kid who's like, I think this story is she's trapped in her mind, but it's like this combo of the kid and stop motion and kind of spooky looking, weird storybook looking thing that I'm just like, that just looks really, really fucking cool. It's not Moon Kingdom because I was thinking of Moonrise Kingdom, but something Moon. I could look it up right now, but I'm not going to. I was kind of skimming through for stuff. But what I did watch, I watched 3 things since the last time we did one of these. I watched a documentary called Chris Claremont's X-Men, which is a documentary mostly about the 16, almost 17-year run that the writer Chris Claremont had writing the X-Men books, which honestly influences the way everybody, like, he took it from a not popular book. It wasn't even being a regularly published book. It was they were just doing reprints of the original stories. To he soon after he took it over, he made it like what it is popular for now. Like a lot of the thing, he's the one who gave Magneto the Holocaust backstory and stuff like that. So most of what people think about with those characters, they think about what the work that he did during that run. So it was that was kind of my interest in seeing him interviewed about it and seeing some of the people that he worked with at the time interviewed. The documentary's fine. It's low budget. I wish it went more into the people and less into here's the stories. It felt almost too, I wanted more about the people, because the interviews are really good. Like the conversations that are happening are really good, and there's a really nice three-person, like three people sitting together interview set up between Claremont, the writer, and his editor for most of that period, Louise Simonson, and one of the other, I think the assistant editor for them at the time, and then later one of the writers who had a big impact on Daredevil, actually, Ann Nocenti. And it's just a really nice, like, oh, these are people who used to work together like every day, who liked working together and still like each other a lot. And so it was a really kind of nice sort of interview. And there's a lot where I wanted to, like, okay, give me more of this, give me more of what they're doing, because they seem interesting and they seem really engaging. So that was, parts of that were fun. And I watched The Wedding Banquet, which is a remake of the 90s movie, The Wedding Banquet. And it has a really good cast. It has Kelly Marie Tran and Bowen Yang and Lily Gladstone. Yeah? Yes.
Those are all actors I really love to see in movies.
And they're all doing a great job. They're all doing a great job with a movie that somebody decided needed to have that. I don't like, I like indie movies, but one of the features of indie movies I don't love is the really contrived, like explosive, like, I'm going to tell you all the things that have been, this is this and this, and I'm going to tell you. It's basically like the writer going like, this is what I should have said about whatever it is that, they never said to whoever they never said it to in those situations. So like, this is what I should have said. And they write their whole monologue, the shower sort of, the shower monologue that you're like, this is what I should have said when that guy was and this movie, I don't love that in general. It always feels really contrived to me. And it's really hard for even a good actor, including these excellent actors, to deliver it in a way that sounds remotely good. And this movie, instead of having one of those, or two, sometimes they have two when it's more of an ensemble thing, instead of having one or two of those near the end of the movie, it has them, it felt like every 5 minutes. It has a new one every 5 minutes. Joan Chen is in it too, playing Kelly Marie Tran's mom, and also great.
I feel like I haven't seen her in something in a while.
I saw her in something else somewhat recently, and I cannot remember what it was. But she's
great.
She's great. They're all great, and like, there's moments in the movie, like the way it's shot is really, there's moments that are really pretty, but it just doesn't. It just feels like it needed somebody to come in and say, okay, let's write this like how people are. As opposed to like your shower thoughts. I have not seen the original Ang Lee movie. I really liked this director's I'm spacing his name. This director's previous movie, Fire Island, I thought was really fun.
It's Andrew On, right?
Andrew On, that's it.
I hope I'm right about that.
I think, that sounds right. And I really liked Fire Island. I didn't like it as much as you did, but I liked it a lot. Like, I thought it was really fun. And the trailer for The Wedding Banquet is really good. So I was like, from person who did Fire Island, I enjoyed that. This cast is amazing. This trailer looks really good. The resulting movie, like, my wife and I watched it together. Jess watched it with me, and she was also just kind of like, eh, because she was kind of excited about it
It
at
looked good.
first, and like then as it was going, we were both like, okay, like, and the plot is solid, if also sort of contrived, and there's a little bit of it that feels a little of the dynamics feel after I kind of learned, because I didn't realize when we watched it that it was a remake of the 90s movie, but after I learned it was, a lot of the dynamics feel a lot more like it feels like 90s dynamic, especially 90s like queer queer people in a movie, gay people in a movie, whatever dynamics. Like it feels more like that than a more modern film does. Like there's
Like it's
just
kind of clunky, is what that. I don't even know.
I
Does that
can't
make sense
tell
to
you,
you?
but you know it's
Kind of awkward and like that thing that
yeah.
happens when you've had Hollywood censoring you for decades and decades and decades, and you're like, well, now we're gonna make a film where the queer romance is actually explicit instead of subtext, and maybe I don't know. I think of some of those some of the '90s indie like new queer cinema stuff was also just like very, very, very low budget and had some of that like low budget early filmmaker awkwardness to it that just is
Yeah.
about being
Yeah.
green. I don't know. I'm free associating, and I'll shut
No,
up.
no, I think that's we're talking about the same thing, more or less. Like it has that vibe where I'm like, I feel like this filmmaker and these actors should have hi Claire, say hi to Claire. Claire just said hello in the
Oh, hi,
chat.
Claire.
I feel like this filmmaker has had enough experience, and that wasn't and that wasn't a problem in Fire Island. So it was just a little disappointing. Everybody has, as filmmakers, has like those things that just don't work out for whatever reason. So it happens.
It happens.
You know, I thought that might be a little bit more interesting. The other thing that happened is a couple weeks ago, I found out, and this wasn't as big a movie for me as it was for a lot of my peers in high school, but I found out that my wife, Jess, had never seen Tommy Boy, the Chris
Oh,
Farley.
Tommy Boy. When
Tommy
you
Boy,
said
not
Tommy Boy,
Tommy. Not Tommy.
I've
She's seen.
also never seen Tommy Boy, Sean. Is this something I need to correct?
Well, you're less of a. Jess likes a dumb comedy, and you like a dumb comedy, but like it's not. This isn't exactly.
Not an Adam Sandler necessarily.
Well, it's not. It's not Adam Sandler. It's Chris Farley.
Oh, Chris Farley. I do.
It's Chris Farley and David,
David
Spade.
That's
it's
right.
their
I can
pairing.
picture.
And I haven't watched it in maybe 15 or 20 years. I haven't watched it in a long time. So I just thought like, oh, you've never seen it. And then we were looking for something silly to watch the other day. And I said, oh, well, you've never seen Tommy Boy. Let's put on Tommy Boy. And so we put it on. And one of the things that was good about it was that, you know, a lot of it, I think a lot of what they advertise for it is the road trip part of it. And a lot of what I remember about it is the road trip part of it. But the road trip part of it's not that big of it. It's basically the story is that Chris Farley is the son of Brian Denny. Brian Dennehy runs an auto parts manufacturer in a small town in Ohio, and is marrying Bo Derek. And he dies at the wedding. Like but it takes some time to get there in a good way of establishing all the characters and establishing Tommy as dumb but lovable and like just like a genuine sweet person who's just kind of a dummy. It's got Rob Lowe in it as a villain, and basically without his dad there, the factory might go under, so he's got to go on this sales trip that his dad usually goes on, and he's a terrible salesman until he kind of finds his way. And David Spade is there as like this guy who works at this company, who they were not really friends as kids, but they knew each other as kids. And it's got a lot of the like 90s snark comedy, the 90s like sarcasm, especially from David Spade. But it's a nice view of Chris Farley, who was very, very funny and who died, I think, only 2 years after the movie came out, in his early 30s. And it's a fun movie that has more going for it. There's, of course, a lot of like stupid jokes that don't necessarily work. But one of the things that Jess and I were talking about is there's a couple of moments in the movie where they have gags that they like hit a couple times. It's like they're going to hotels and they're staying in hotels on this trip, and Chris Farley walks in on and accidentally surprises David Spade when he is pleasuring himself, and David Spade hides it, and so Chris Farley starts teasing him about it a little bit, and starts teasing him about it, and then they tease him about it just once or twice, and then they have like one little thing to button off the scene with it, and then that's it. And it seemed a contrast to today with comedy movies where they shoot it and they do a lot of what do you call it? They do a lot of improv during the production.
The post Judd Apatow,
yeah,
like 2000, yeah.
And they'll just run a joke, and they'll keep it in the edit, and they'll run the joke into the ground. Like they'll hit it like 5 or 10 times in the scene because they all just kind of love how like Paul Rudd improvises, and I love how Paul Rudd improvises. But like they just kind of do that, and like this, it was just kind of nice of like they made the joke, made a couple little follow-up jokes, had a little button, and then that was it. And it didn't feel like it overstayed its welcome as far as the comedy. It wasn't like the funniest movie, but it was nice to watch, and Chris Farley was really funny, and it was nice to share this thing that it wasn't as big for me as it was for other people, my peers when I was a teenager, because it's big for a lot of the folks who graduated when I did, because it came out right before we started high school. So it was like, it was one of those like movies that they watched at that time. I saw it a couple of years later, and it informed a lot with a lot of them. And so, and just hadn't seen it. So it was a nice thing to share. But anyway, those are the things that I've watched. And I would recommend watching Tommy Boy if you want a dumb comedy that's,
I'm sorry. I'm thinking about David Spade masturbating now. That's
you
all
don't see
you've
anything.
left me with. And I love Chris Farley, but I don't need that in my life. Even if they only bring the joke back 3 times. Like, that's 3 times too many.
Well, it's within the scene. They don't bring it back later.
You want to know what physical media I've bought?
Yeah, tell me your physical media. And then
Maybe we wrap up because we have jobs other than this.
Yeah.
I mean, for now. No, probably not for long.
No.
Which cat? Oh, that's both cats. Okay. Well, let's say this is Nicole's physical media corner, or maybe it's just the physical media corner, or maybe we'll come up with a cool name for it because physical media rules.
Or it doesn't have to be a thing, and you can just share what you have.
It
doesn't have to be a segment.
I am a student of Tyra Banks, who is a genius about branding. We are not the best at branding and marketing, Sean. So I'm trying to improve. Thanks for just shitting all over my efforts.
It was a terrible idea.
Anyway, I recently bought this.
What's it say?
It says The Last Mistress. It's a typeface that's a little hard to read. I haven't seen this movie before, but it's Catherine Breillat. It's one of the few Catherine Breillat films I have not seen.
Right.
And it was recently, IFC Films put out a nice Blu-ray of it. And I was like, great, now I don't need to watch it on the Roku channel, broken up with a 10-minute long commercial break every 5 minutes. And also the other reason I bought this sight unseen is because I personally believe that if we get to the point of like stuff just being straight up banned in this country, Catherine Breillat is going to be like one of the very first feminist filmmakers whose shit is just going to get banned. So I've been making a point for a while to just pick up Catherine Breillat stuff anytime I get a good chance, because Sean knows over 15 years ago, I saw Which Way This Wind Was Blowing because I went on Netflix late at night once upon a time and saw people saying that there was child sexual abuse material on Netflix, and they were talking about the Catherine Breillat movie Anatomy of Hell. Now we have actual, you know, fascists running the federal government. And so some of the like liberal young people's pro-censorist takes that were so cute in 2010 are going to be a lot less cute soon. Anyway, Catherine Breillat, and I see that Claire is saying that her dad checked out First Cow at the library and watched it and then loaned it to me. So maybe she's going to watch it soon. Dude, First Cow is so good. Please watch First. Have you seen it, Sean?
No, I kept meaning to see it, and I haven't gotten around to it yet.
It's very good.
I heard that, yeah.
Also, I talked about The Mastermind last time, but
Yeah.
so another Kelly Reichardt. Other things I got recently. Singapore Sling.
Okay.
Have you seen this movie, Sean?
I have not. What is this?
This is one of the most fucked up movies you'll ever see in your life. It's Greek, I think.
Okay.
And it's like it's in that genre of that I enjoy, where genuinely very disturbed women torment men.
Okay.
It's one of those. It's not super easily available, but I can loan you this. I also may have other ways of watching it that I can help you with if you want to see it. But
Okay.
it's often not streaming.
I mean, a lot of things aren't, so yeah.
And then this just came today, and this is what inspired my physical media segment. And also, Claire, I want to note that First Cow is due back at the library on my birthday. So that just seemed important. This is also important, Claire, because you'll want to know about this movie. Cat.
Uh-huh.
I've talked to you a lot about this movie, Sean, because I make my
familiar.
students watch the section where the alien cat has a fight with a junkyard dog. Not a junkyard dog. It's in a junkyard.
Yeah. I vaguely recall this.
This is a great science fiction film about a cat from outer space who comes to
Right.
help save humanity. And it's so good. It's the director of Riccio, the story of Ricky, if you want like
I'm familiar
category
with that exists. I have not watched
just
it.
very over the top, violent but cartoonishly so.
Uh-huh.
One of the things I will say, Cat People is also important, Claire. I got a lot to say about Cat People, including the fact that David Bowie's title track for the remake is like one of my favorite songs of all time.
That's a great song.
It's such a great song. It goes on like every playlist I make. Anyway,
The cat.
important for Claire, important for everyone. Spoiler for the cat, very mild spoiler for the cat. Cat's fine. The dog that people pit the cat against, also fine. In fact, there's a whole scene after the amazing fight that is like one of my favorite fight sequences of all time between this cat and this dog, where it's like they're switching between actual cats and dogs and puppets and like, all kinds. It's and stop motion animation. They make a point after the fight to have a whole scene in the veterinary hospital that establishes that the dog's okay.
Okay.
The dog does not die. Does the dog die and the cat? No, you're good. People die. The animals are good. And that's The Cat, one of my favorite films. I hope more people see it. And I also hope my Blu-ray player will actually play this disc that I've purchased.
Oh, are you worried it's like a region 2 or something like that?
Or so it's not region 2.
Or whatever.
But I'm worried it's going to be like one of those region free discs that players can be finicky about. I really just need to buy like an all region player and different region players. I already have 3 VCRs. Like what am I pretending I'm not a pat rat for?
Fine. It's weird that they have the different regions. Hopefully that they'll eventually stop doing that. But
I fucking hate it. But it's like, the players can be finicky. Sometimes they just won't like a disc that's for that's for the correct region. So anytime I get something like this, I'm a little like, hope it works. But yeah, The Cat.
Cool.
Wonderful film. You got to go to work.
Yeah, I should get going soon here. Any last things? We'll probably do this again pretty soon.
I'm realizing the reason the cats kept coming to visit is probably because Sean's not here, because Sean was getting to be a witness to history. And by the time this episode airs, I mean, for those who aren't live streaming, everyone will know that the death penalty is off the table for Luigi Mangione. So that's what's on my mind now. We could celebrate that.
That's a good thing.
Because fuck the death penalty.
It's not a good thing.
It's not.
So, yet. Anyway.
We'll be back at some point, probably on a Friday, to get some more about some bullshit.
Probably soon, and we'll probably we're discussing ideas for another long episode again, a full episode.
You'll be hearing more of us.
Listening. Yes. All right. So, with that, let's say goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye, friends. Goodbye. Goodbye.
The Celluloid Mirror is a production of 4 Mile Circus and is hosted by Sean Mannion and Nicole Solomon. Learn more at 4milecircus.com. To keep up with the next episode, make sure to subscribe and click that button to get reminders. You can also join our Patreon at patreon.com/4milecircus. All the links are below. Our opening and closing music is Twisted by Kevin MacLeod. You can find his music at incompetech.com.
I ended up in that hall of mirrors. There was another girl. She looked like me. Exactly like me.
Can you come with me in my dreams?
That'll do, baby.
What happens when the story dies and the evil is set free?
I have to return some videotapes.